Streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and blasttheradio.com, this is The Lowell Green Show. The number to call and be heard around the world is 613-413-2217. Or email Lowell at blasttheradio.com. And now, here is Lowell Green.
Thank you, John. Had a chance yet, John, to vote?
Not yet. That is, as soon as I'm done with you, I'll be off doing that.
Are you taking the dog?
I thought about it because I love the tradition of that. Normally, I walk over with the dog, and then my wife goes in and votes. She comes out, she hangs on to the dog. I go in and vote, but I'm hearing like lineups are 40 to 45 minutes in some places, so I don't want to line up twice.
Have you heard of any other problems? I've heard there are some very long lineups. I'm just wondering if you've heard anything else.
Somebody commented earlier on my show today that they were dealing with some pretty inexperienced people once they get to the polling station. But no, most of what I've heard is just it takes a while to get in and vote, most of it due to COVID protocols.
Well, I just wanted to remind everybody that if you're upset, you don't like the long lineups, if you find inexperienced people, etc., there's only one person to blame, and you know who it is. This guy that called an election, an unwanted, unneeded election in the middle of a pandemic, okay? I forget his name, but I'm sure you don't. Actually, if anybody has got any comments in this regard, anybody's had any problems, maybe some tips as how to avoid problems, give us a call or text us. We'd be very glad to hear from you, no question about it. I think one of the big questions today is, in addition to prolonging the pandemic, are the anti-vaxxers going to prolong Trudeau's life by voting for Mad Max? Oh, man, I don't get people. There's no question that almost everybody who's going to vote for Mad Max is mad at Trudeau. They don't want Trudeau around, and yet they're going to take the action that there's a very good chance, in fact, is going to re-elect Trudeau. But we've gone through this before. So on to something else. Can anybody tell me, is there anybody anywhere who can figure out what the hell is going wrong with our light rail system? And is there anybody that knows how to fix the damn thing? Apparently not. You know the story. Another derailment, damage to the track, damage to the car. And apparently the Confederation line, which I think is the only line we have, is out of service for a solid week. I don't get it. Do you? What the hell's going on here? I mean, cities around the world have been running various forms of light and heavy rail transportation systems for decades, in some cases for over 100 years, without nowhere near the kinds of problems that we're having here in Ottawa. I got some facts and figures for you. The GO train system in Toronto carries 276,000 passengers every single day. They have been doing that since the 60s with no problems. The metro in Montreal has been operating successfully for 55 years now with no problems. It carries, believe it or not, almost 1.5 million passengers every single day. The Montreal system is 71 kilometers in length. It has 68 stations and took only 4 years to build. 71 kilometers, 68 stations, 4 years. It took us a bit more than 3 years to build our system here in Ottawa that stretches only 12 kilometers and has 13 stations. How long would it take if we had to go 71 kilometers with 68 stations? I figure we'd probably be looking at another 150 years, and then probably another 150 years to get the damn thing to work. I mean, London's underground system was completed, believe it or not, and has been operating successfully, very successfully, since 1890. 1890, the London subway. Russia, Moscow, they've finished their subway, and it's beautiful. If you've ever been there in it, it's quite beautiful. I mean, it's Russia, but the subway system is magnificent. It was completed in 1935, a year before I was born. That's how old that subway system is. And all of these systems are working very, very successfully, carrying tens of millions of people without the kinds of problems that we have here. I'm going to tell you that, and I've done some checking on this, the Montreal metro system, 71 kilometers, 68 stations, has had fewer breakdowns, cessation of service in the last 10 years. It's had fewer in the last 10 years than we have had in the last 1 year here in Ottawa. What the hell is the matter? I mean, it's astonishing. Is it incompetence? Is this piece of equipment we got just a piece of shit? What is it? There's something going on here. I mean, obviously, it's just a problem after problem after problem. If it was a rarity, but this is the second derailment we've had in what, the last 2 or 3 months? What the hell is going on? And I think even more to the point, why can't we get somebody who can fix the damn thing? It's quite astonishing. Anybody any ideas or thoughts on that? What should we do now? I'm reading some people on Facebook who are saying, you know what, we should just scrap the whole thing. The price of steel is really good. We can't do that. We've spent, almost $2 billion now, and they're expanding it. Can you imagine? With all of the problems, we've got 12 kilometers now, and it's just problem after problem after problem after problem. Can you imagine if we expanded more than double the length? Will the thing ever go? Any thoughts? Any comments?
We actually talked about this on my show this morning because I'm livid about the LRT, and I saw Councillor Laura Dudas really go off on her Facebook on the weekend. She's had it as well. She wants answers. And some of the commenters I had say that they've even heard from people on OC Transpo employment, some of the people who work for OC Transpo saying they've heard that we're about to just throw dirt over the whole thing and call it a day. That rumor's out there now. Let's just take $21 billion and throw dirt on it.
I have to once again, and it grieves me to say it, actually. I get a kick out of telling you that Lowell Green and Andy Hayden were the only two people that I am aware of in this city who spoke out repeatedly against light rail. Andy Hayden's there, and he presented all sorts of facts and figures, and I believed him that the way to go was not light rail, but rather high-speed, modern electric buses. He points out, and I've done some research, that many of the new modern transportation systems around the world now are going to electric buses. Much more flexible, no problems, the same kind of problem. One of the problems with light rail, and Andy pointed this out, he was on my program on CFRA 4 or 5 times. People would phone and call us fools and all the rest of it. Well, are we fools today? Maybe not. Maybe not so much, right? But one of the problems, and both Andy and I pointed this out with light rail, is if you have a train breakdown, the whole friggin' system is broken down. If you have a broken down bus, you can go around. You just drive around, you tow the bus out of the way. And one of the questions I have is the breakdowns, the derailments. If they bring it out, let's say to Canada or whatever, apparently it's going to be alongside the Queensway. And if there's a breakdown there, how are we going to get people out and into buses? Are we going to have to close the Queensway down? But then what the hell do I know, right? As I say, I just have to remind you, folks, a lot of you people thought I was absolutely nuts that I had, flipped my lid when I joined with Andy Hayden and said, wait a minute, you know what, maybe we shouldn't go to rail. Andy said, yeah, build a tunnel, we need the tunnel, but we should be running electric buses through it. I had people phone and say, well, you can't put a bus through a tunnel. That's how stupid some people are, including, by the way, some city members of city council. You can't put a bus through a tunnel. Do you know that there are tunnels in Switzerland that are like 80 and 90 miles long? Everybody had been in the tunnel that stretches from the cliffs of Dover right through to the coast of France? You know what? But you know what? stupidity is not just as it applies to light rail. Let me raise another issue here. There they are at City Hall. We're paying these people supposed to be the brightest and the best among us. I mean, I'm not suggesting that there aren't some really good people on City Council. But I mean, there's no innovation. There is no thinking outside the box. In fact, I even wonder if there's any thinking inside the box. This business of garbage. We're now being told, well, we're running out of space. We got to. So they're going to start dumping all sorts of more garbage on the Carp Mountain. We went through this numbers of years ago. The stink was so bad, it was worse than sticking your nose up a billy goat's ass. They finally fixed the stink, and now they're going to be... So the solution to garbage... Well, I'm going to tell you right now that they're going to be coming to you with garbage police. Very soon, wait, mark my words, they're going to insist that we take our garbage out in clear plastic bags so that the garbage police can come along and check and make sure that we aren't throwing out stuff that should be recycled. There's going to be a limit, and if you go over, I don't know what you're supposed to do with a limit, probably dump it in the ditch just around the corner from me here, as very often happens today. But the solution, I mean, can I tell you something? High efficiency incineration has now been in effect in many European cities, even towns and villages, for almost 100 years. High efficiency incineration today is so modern, so efficient that they don't even have smokestacks anymore. There are no emissions from high efficiency incineration. There is no odor. There is no noise. As a matter of fact, let me just tell you, you don't even know that it's there. An example. How many of you driven along Highway 407, the private road north of Toronto? I'm sure many of you have. Do you know that when you're driving along Highway 407, you go right by a high-efficiency incinerator that is burning a good deal of garbage from North York, north of Toronto, and, by the way, supplying a lot of electricity into the Toronto market? You didn't know that. You don't. There's no way that you can tell. That's how good it is. Even the most left-wing of all Canadian cities, Vancouver, I was actually shocked to learn just a little while ago when I was writing my latest book that guess who has had a high-efficiency incinerator burning garbage and creating electricity in Vancouver, but Vancouver. They've had an incinerator in Vancouver for more than 20 years now, and in fact they're building a second one. It provides almost 1/3 of all of the hydro for Surrey around Vancouver. It's astonishing. And, you know, people say, well, we'll get to the text in just a minute there, John. But I have to say this. One of the most livable cities in the world, and almost every study, every survey ever taken agrees that Vienna, Austria, is one of the most livable, beautiful, comfortable cities in the world. Very often, it closes right at number one, the most livable city in the world. Guess what almost the number one tourist attraction is in Vienna, Austria? In the downtown part of Austria. It's the high-efficiency incinerator. When you drive, we came in, I'll never forget, we came in with a bus off a cruise ship, and we're coming into Vienna, a beautiful city, and we see this beautiful building with artwork all over it, and everybody said, what the hell is that? Oh, the driver says, that's our incinerator. In downtown Vienna, most livable city in the world. But we can't have one. No, here in Ottawa, we're just going to dump more garbage in the ground. A number of years ago, I started I fought against the expansion of the Carp Mountain, tooth and nail, believe me. And so as part of my campaign, I had a number of car bumper stickers made up that said, Ottawa, a great place for a dump. And I posted this I snuck in and I put one of those bumper stickers on the mayor's car. It was Bob Shirelli at the time. He was mad as hell.
I guess.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you city council, because I know the city councilors listen here. I'm gonna print up more of these damn bumper stickers, and I'm gonna go around in the dead of night or get someone to do it. And I'm gonna put these bumper stickers on your car. Ottawa, a great place for a dump. Let me tell you something. You are so backward, so Neanderthal in this city, that you don't even do as well as they did in medieval England. Now, in medieval England, they dumped the garbage But you know where they didn't have incineration there. No. You know what they did? They dumped the garbage outside the city walls so the bears could eat it. We don't even do that. You know what? If they saw a bear eating the garbage here in the city of Ottawa, they'd shoot the bear.
Shoot the bear, yeah.
I mean, that's how. I won't use the word stupid. That's too insulting. But I mean, come on. I mean, why are we dumping garbage in the center of our city? High efficiency incinerator. Do you know that in Sweden, and actually more, even in Denmark, there are now buildings that have their own high efficiency incinerator. And you know what? So they'll burn their own garbage in an individual building and provide that building with all the electricity they need and the heat. And what are we going to do in Ottawa? Oh, we're going to dump our garbage in the middle of the city. Ottawa, a great place for a dump. John, you got some texts there coming in.
We do. We got lots of text. In fact, can I announce that you are now streaming on Twitter for the first time? So if you go to the Blast the Radio Twitter page, we've got our first comment in from there. A.K. Wiltshire says, what happened to the consultant who was hired a couple of years ago to fix all these problems with the LRT?
Oh, he's you know what? We paid him such a bonus that he's bought himself a villa in France, for God's sake. Probably.
613-413-2217 is the number. Lowell, the Alston company who made the trains are from France. France is not known for their technology. Who decided to buy from them? They are not designed for cold climates, and I guess they have even issues in perfect weather. I think the only thing they have going is their size to go underground.
Actually, that's a very good point. These most recent breakdowns have occurred in beautiful weather. I mean, let's face it. I mean, we're having wonderful weather. So you can't blame these breakdowns and say, oh, well, you know, this is the northern climate. No, these things are breaking down in perfect weather, for God's sake. Go ahead, John.
On Twitch, we've got Chrissy saying that they do this in Hamilton as far as the garbage is concerned. You have to leave a sticker on the garbage or recycle buckets or cans. They will not pick up the recycling otherwise. And I know for a fact in New Brunswick, you have to use a clear garbage bag so that they can actually see what's in there before they will dispose.
Yeah, and not only that, I'm going to tell you what else is coming. Clear garbage bags, and there will be rationing. You will only be allowed so many bags, and if you're going to have more bags than that, the police come around and they shoot you. Well, they won't shoot you, but they'd like to probably, but they're going to charge you more, okay? I mean, you can see this coming. This city council is the most regressive, uninnovative, behind the times, foot-dragging, do-nothing council I have ever encountered anywhere in my 85 years of living. You know what? There are better city councils in Simcoe. Tillsonburg has a better council than we have here. Oh, my God. Shields. Thank you very much. Furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics. Very seldom do I mention the fact that, they have furniture, mattress, appliance, but electronics. Electronics actually is quite a big seller at Shields, but primarily it's appliances. These people are the appliance kings and queens, not only of the Ottawa Valley, but of Eastern Ontario. Prices are very competitive, if not the best. If you don't believe me, check it out. You will see, if you go to their website, folks, you will see all of the appliances that are there, all listed. Very good website. The price, how much money you're saving. Some appliances, you can save $400 or $500. And a warning that many of these lower-priced appliances will probably not be available as of January 1st next year if Trudeau is elected. John, more text coming in.
Yeah, we got a phone call coming in too. I haven't had a chance to screen it yet. Did you want to go right to the phones?
Oh, sure. What the hell? I'm a man that takes risks.
All right. Go ahead. You're on with Lowell Green.
Good afternoon, Lowell. It's Jace.
Yes. Hi, Jace. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Talk about taking chances.
Yes.
I know what's going to happen with the garbage, Lowell.
You do, eh?
Yeah. All of a sudden, people are going to have too much garbage, and they're going to start looking for commercial dumpsters to dump their garbage in. I have a business. I pay for my dumpster. I have to pay for my weekly dump. But if it starts getting filled up with residential garbage, I'm going to be footing the bill.
Well, yeah, I think, doesn't that happen to a degree right now?
Sorry, you're cutting out.
Well, I just say I think
Lowell seems to have frozen on us there. We'll get Lowell back for you here in a second, Jace. Lowell, you back on?
Am I back on?
No, we've got Lowell, but no audio from Lowell right now.
God.
Yeah. See, on election day, I'm bound to buy into the conspiracy theories that this is a liberal thing. Lowell, if we could get you to log back on, please, and see if that doesn't work. We are streaming on Facebook. We are streaming on Twitch. We are streaming on Twitter as well for the first time, and of course on blasttheradio.com. If you go to lowellgreen.com, you'll be connected to everything. Mike says that this is working good. He hears Ann says they hear Lowell there. See, we had this problem last week, and our streaming platform said that there was not an issue. So this is interesting because we launched the show today and Twitch didn't have video, and that's the same thing that happened the last time too. So frustrating, I know. Let's see if we can get Lowell back here. Lowell,
right.
hello.
Can you hear
there?
me now? Can you hear me now?
They can hear you, Lowell, but I can't hear you, which I know is
boy.
incredibly frustrating. Lowell, you do your thing. I'm going to see if I can adjust some stuff here. Jace, we'll put you on hold for just a second, okay?
Thank you.
Do you think the listeners can still hear me here, John? You can't hear me. Oh, God. I have to report, then I'm probably going to sign off a little early again. It's frustrating. It's very frustrating, believe me. I just have to report to you. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day. I may even take a dip in the pool this afternoon, believe it or not. That's how bright it is. And there's a nice breeze as well. You would think that this would be a perfect day for wind and solar. We have 42 wind farms. We have, at last count, over 3 million solar panels in this province. Guess what they are producing? Well, right now I will tell you that wind is producing 4.8% of everything that we are burning. 4.8% with wind. Solar, despite the beautiful bright day, 1.7%. So in total, the great energy revolution that cost us billions and billions and billions of dollars, the total that they are producing, combined wind and solar, 6.5%. This was at noon today. Now, folks, go to ieso.ca. It's that simple. ieso.ca. There you will see everything that I am telling you. I challenge you to do it every day. I still keep hearing people. I have a very good friend, a dear friend, the other day telling me, and he's a staunch conservative, but still telling me that he thinks the future is going to be wind and solar. And I said to him, Rick, there's no way. I said, there's no way. And he couldn't believe the figures. So I directed him to IESO, and now he believes. Quite astonishing. 6.5% on a beautiful sunny day. You see, solar, everybody's talking about this. Let's have solar. That's solar. I don't know what it is. Solar is very, very inefficient. I don't know if, you would think that on a sunny day with all of the solar panels, it would be doing better than that. But it's not. Solar right now, at noon today, 1.7% of everything that we're burning. All right. Folks, John can't hear me, so we can't get texts on the air. If someone could just actually text John and tell him to read some text, we'd be fine. Can't do that. Okay, we're going to sign off a little early. All I would like to say, folks, is please, I know you've been admonished about this many, many times, but please vote, okay? It's a sacred right. I think it's not only a right, I believe it to be a duty. It may be a little difficult. The lineups, I understand, are long in some places. You can thank Justin Trudeau for that. But please, let's vote. Thank you all. We will be back tomorrow.
The Lowell Green Show is seen and heard live around the world at 2 p.m. Eastern. Connect with us online at blasttheradio.com/Lowell Green. Can't join us live? Download the Lowell Green podcast. Available on Apple, Spotify, Google, and more. Ask your smart speaker to play the Lowell Green podcast. This is a production of blasttheradio.com.